This was me as a child. Can you guess what I want to do when I grow up? First of all, can we all acknowledge how much of a cool kid I was? Just look at my fashion sense. But what I wanted to do when I grew up, I wanted to be an explorer. I wanted to travel. I wanted to travel around the country, around the planet, and even further than that. I want to travel into outer space. And I know what you're all thinking. Am I listening to an astronaut today? Well, unfortunately, you're not. I haven't traveled into space. Well, at least not yet, anyway. In fact, I actually work at an investment bank. But I feel I've really inherited a lot of shared goals from my childhood. I'm curious. I like to question things. I love to solve problems. And I think childhood goals and dreams are very important because they derive from a time when we weren't influenced by money. We didn't care about necessarily other things outside. All we really cared about was what we were interested in. And it really begs the question, what do today's children want to do? In 2019, I came across this survey. It was conducted by Lego, and it asked 1,000 8 to 12-year-olds in the UK, the US, and China what they wanted to do when they grew up. As you can see, I think the results are very, very surprising. I know they certainly shocked me. So in the UK and the US, the most popular career choice was actually to become a vlogger or a YouTuber. This, to me, is mind-blowing because this career simply didn't exist 10 years ago, when I was a kid, that is. Even in China, a country where there's actual limits in place for social media, if sometimes even bans in place, almost 20% of children actually want to pursue a social media career. And this is more so than typically maybe an astronaut or an athlete. So it's really mind-blowing. And it really leads on to the question, what is the impact of this? So, social media is really key to this. And I think we first need to evaluate its actual use within society. And at its core, social media is addictive. It's designed to take us in and consume us. Think about it. I'm sure we're all guilty of maybe replying to a message, and before we know it, we've wasted multiple hours even consuming people's holiday photos, pictures of dogs. All this stuff is really pointless, but yet we still consume it anyway. And if it can damage our attention spans as adults, why are we actually subjecting this to children? You talk about maybe social media actually damaging social skills. A lot of these children have actually grown up in this digital world, raised and born in it. And this is all they will actually have ever known. Maybe they might not have even raised these social skills in the first place. And that's quite a worrying prospect. As well as that, think about the psychological damage. There's been various studies, various cases of correlations between social media usage and mental health cases. It's clear that social media offers a platform of constant comparison. People see these models, these influencers, these gamers, they supposedly have it all. Well, that's at least what appears on the screen. Children are striving to try and be like them, and it's really transitioning them from doing a job which they enjoy so much that they want to do it for free to doing a job where they get paid quite a lot for what appears very little work. It's fueling an inherent sense of materialism within society. It's making them wish that they had that and that they want that. So ultimately, social media is very damaging. As a recent economics graduate, I also think about how this could harm long-run productivity. The constant sense of distraction in children's lives can really impact their drive, their desire, and really their passions for everything around them. More so than that, there's lots of problems in the world today. I'm pretty sure there's going to be lots of problems in the future as well. These problems are really the current youth of today's problem, and maybe even inherited for the future generations after that. If they cannot instill within themselves some passion and drive, then it's really a scary prospect. It's clear social media is here. It's here in a big way, and it's not going anywhere. So let's think about how we can rectify this. How can we limit some of the disadvantages of social media usage? First thoughts for a solution. How about thinking of restricting and limiting content? So, first thing that comes to mind is actually the reduction in access to social media. There's age restrictions in place for alcohol, gambling, driving. Why not social media as well? Whilst many platforms do actually state this, it's hardly stringent. How about making this stricter? Limiting the amount of distractions that these children can actually get access to. Whilst it's not an absolute solution, it's actually a relative solution. Let's cast our mind back to the survey. Even in China, when there are limits in place on social media usage, still almost 20% of children wanted to pursue a career within social media. It's clearly not the key to solving this problem completely. I think to do that, we actually have to redefine how social media is viewed and consumed. And really to do this, I think we need to really revert back to social media's original intentions. This was to connect, to raise awareness, and really to facilitate a learning environment. Not only that, I think we can also look at ourselves. Are we offering the best role models we can for children? Are we actually empowering them to follow their passions in life? I want to end by asking you all a question. What did you want to be when you grew up? Remember the dreams, remember the goals, the passion. Let's make sure that the future generation also have similar goals and dreams for their life.